We're back. We did it.
Hi.
Davey, tell them what we're going to do.
We are going to record the third episode
That's
of Are
three
You
with
Ready
a
for This?
with a capital 3.
And a D, oddly enough. We don't know why.
3D.
Are you ready for this? A Freshman 15 podcast and a huge waste of your and our time.
It's true. The other things we could have been doing today,
We've already been
countless.
in here for like 30 minutes just talking. You guys weren't invited.
We want you guys to believe that we're actually friends, so we have to like get together each week and remind ourselves what it feels like to talk to each other.
Right.
Because the truth is, we hate each other.
We are in it for the money, and we do say that in Are You Ready for This?
It's true. It's true. And that was the whole point of the show. We didn't know if you guys would like that twist there.
Right.
This is
We
what it's
have a
been
lot
about
of
the whole
money.
time.
So thank you. This has been Are You Ready for This? A Freshman 15 podcast.
We'll see you guys next week. Anyway, we're gonna go into one of our favorite albums of all time. It's "Enema of the State" by Blink-182. So we go
I
ahead.
would say top three for me,
Really,
100% of all time, not just Blink.
top three? Huh.
100%.
I mean,
Oh, not you.
I guess I would have to agree, but it feels like number one. Like, but this is me almost being blasphemous to myself with Dookie, because that's clearly my favorite album of all time. But this one just has some special quality about it.
Do you? Is there any skippable songs for you on Enema?
No,
I feel like I can skip Adam songs sometimes. I have to be in a certain mood to rock Adam song.
like,
You know?
like you have to be either really depressed or really happy so you can ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't just be having an okay day and listen to Adam song. It'll
That's
either
right.
make me suicidal or
It is really cool on that song, though. The idea that they were kind of quoting some stuff from Nirvana. I didn't know that at first. It
they do
took
that on
me
Mark does that
like,
on a few songs.
yeah, only a couple years ago did I figure that out, and
Me
I've been a fan
too.
forever.
Yeah.
But the kind of homage to obviously the band Nirvana and their lyrics, but what their friend was going through as a Nirvana fan himself, kind of interesting. Makes the story a lot more real, which is almost, like you said, it humanizes it, which makes it a little bit uncomfortable.
Right, because I think I hate if I wouldn't have heard the personal story from Mark Hoppus about the apple juice line, I'm like, that's so specific. I would, the first time I heard it, I was like, fucking apple juice? What are you talking about? You know?
Right. Well, I mean,
Like,
I think people would be interested to know that that is a quirk of yours. You're not a big fan on very specific lyrics. So,
you know what? I'm just noticing this as we're speaking. It's when you talk about your dinner or any kind of food. For some reason, my brain is like, I don't like this. Like remembering Sunday, he talks about scrambled eggs over toast and
okay. But
and
how about how
over
about
easy and a hash brown,
how
scattered,
about
smothered, and covered, or whatever he talks about in remembering Sunday.
how about listen to Britney? You don't like that one either. That ain't about food. I mean, I guess.
It's true. Listen to Britney. I don't know. Yeah, that's not food. Yeah, and then yeah, I excuse apple juice because it is very personal, and I guess maybe I need to ask Alex what hash browns smothered, covered, and eggs over easy, and a shot of OJ means to him. Whatever the hell he talks
Yeah,
about.
whatever he said in that song.
Um,
Any given Sunday.
but I would say that this album, if you go to any band that was coming up in the early aughts, like we were, you've heard early aughts, right? You know what this,
No,
yeah,
that's not what I was concerned about. I was like, I wasn't in your band until after the aughts.
yeah, yeah. And I wish it was later than that.
But you should have seen me back then, man. I was
Never.
even more pretty than I am now.
Anytime we went to the studio, and it has to be any other band and they're in the same era. When the producer was like, "Hey, what do you want your guitars to sound like?" You're like, "This. I want it to
Hmm.
sound like this."
Right.
Or you found Glory Sticks and Stones. That first jant, 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 like those two sounds is like I want to sound like that
Absolutely.
because it's such perfect tone, like quality, sonically, everything about this album is perfect.
So
It's
when I was saying earlier that it has a special quality to it, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It
yeah.
almost, and this is for, forgive me for trying to describe something that words can't really describe. It sparkles. Is that gay? Because if so, then I nailed it. Um,
A
it,
guy?
yeah, right. No, I think it was just a perfect.
Guy?
It was- at least this one's showing us who we are. Um,
Guys? All right, that's on.
I thought that that song had, or not the song, the whole album just had this perfect like shimmer to the whole thing.
Well, it's in between Adam's song and all the small things. When it's holding that C, you literally hear shimmer. Like,
That's true,
it sounds shimmery. It
right?
literally has a shimmer. So yeah,
So
I get it.
I think being a Green Day fan back then, I liked Blink, but they weren't my number one at the time. Um, I really felt this connection to what I thought or identified as was punk rock. And when people would say Green Day was pop punk, I was annoyed because I'm like, that had a negative connotation when you compare something to pop. But then when I heard it start getting applied to Blink 182, it made sense to me because it sounded like that shimmery, just, I don't know, but it's so cool because it's still raw, it's still punk rock, it's edgy. The way Tom sings, especially back then, it was a lot more nasally than it is now, but all of that was just so unique. I'd never heard anything like that.
I could see the distinction between calling Green Day Dookie punk and then calling Blink-182 Enema of the State pop punk. Where I don't know if I could say the same for Dude Ranch. They've always just had a poppier quality to them because, like I said on the whatever episode we did last, Dude
Panic?
Panic. Well, I guess it would have been the first episode. Dude Ranch is where I found Blink, so I wasn't disappointed when I heard all the small things coming from loving
No,
Josie and the punk rock stuff from Dude Ranch. It didn't like shock me or anything. I've always loved pop music too, so it just fit the perfect. It was the perfect mold for me between pop and punk, quote unquote.
yeah. So what was your favorite track on the album?
It's Dysentery Gary. I just
Really? Okay.
love. So I love the guitar riff, the intro, and then the chorus. He's just doing the harmonics, and then doing
Yeah.
the whammy bar, which he can't do that live. But it does that, just the bass and the harmonics. But I think this is probably Tom Lord Algae. On the last chorus, the big guitar, the bar chords come in
Come in.
over
Yeah.
the and harmonies, and they call that throwing in the kitchen sink. Everything is coming at you in the last chorus, and that song just builds
But
so
how
perfect.
good is the drumming?
Right. It's so
That
intricate. And,
so
and,
cool.
and it's so to say that Travis Barker doesn't get enough credit is wild because he's one of the most famous drummers in the
But
world.
doesn't
But
it still feel like that's an accurate statement?
right, because I mean, if you're not listening for the intricacies of
Intricacies.
I just had a stroke again of what he's doing there, all the and all that woodblock stuff, it's wild.
So
So
one thing I love about Zoom is that when we start doing like instrument sounds, it just mutes them.
oh
So
really?
when we watch this later, or when people watch this, it's probably just going to be us miming things with our mouth.
So if when I'm just doing the woodblock, this looks like I'm over here just like
Looks like you're speaking a foreign language.
wild.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm sure you know this. You helped write the album,
Enema of the State.
but
I actually see little known fact about me.
you helped write the album,
Isn't that what you were saying?
Enema.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I
Our
did.
album, Here's the Feeling Good. Like clearly, Dumpweed was a huge inspiration on the intro to Mistake Ex Girlfriend. At
Right.
least I remember thinking I want to write an album that comes through as gnarly as Dumpweed on Enema does. So you'll hear how alike Mistake Ex Girlfriend intro and Dumpweed is. That's very on purpose.
Yeah, and I think, having, because that was so anthemic, even though it wasn't the song anthem, but to be the opening track and just have these huge, just booming notes ringing out over this awesome riff,
Yeah.
uh, it's just so cool.
Yeah,
There
you
was so
just
much
put it in
space
the
and
CD and it's like, you're like, fuck,
yeah,
this hits
and
you like,
but it doesn't quite come in like immediate. There's like a little bit of, like you said, with the hi-hats and stuff, it kind of gives this anticipation. And it's the perfect way to start things off, and it's your first introduction to what Travis can do, because before that was Scott.
right.
And I mean, I didn't know as much. Well, I probably didn't know very little, honestly, at that point about musicianship and what it takes to play an instrument. But even still, there was something about the drumming that was like, what was that? You know what I mean?
Right. And even Tom talks about it in interviews they did back then when they were writing that album. Travis said, "Let's try something like this," and it kind of blew Tom's mind. It wasn't even in the realm of his like thought scope. He's like, "Oh, we can do that," and Travis is like, "Yeah, man, we can do that if you want."
Yeah,
Um,
don't they say he kind of became a third writer in that way because he would approach songs from a different perspective that made them match the guitars to maybe what he was doing?
yeah, yeah. It's because, all of his like, if you think about that Dysentery Gary thing, it's like salsa.
Right,
I
right.
hope that comes through.
It didn't.
Ah, whack. Um, but yeah, that's like a salsa feel almost. And I don't think Tom or Mark would write something with a salsa feel or that not on this album, but feeling this, he does some
Right.
like all that stuff. It's so
That one actually came through a little bit, so
oh thank God.
congrats. I don't know what you did different that time, but keep it up. He's
Um
getting better.
my beatboxing getting really it's crushing it over here.
That's right. My favorite track is Windy Clear.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, I say that. It's
We
kind of
covered
tied
that
between.
so much on tour, and you sang that actually on
Yeah,
tour.
well, and it was fun because I do love it. It's somewhere between that and Anthem, but hard to choose. Windy Clear just it really exemplifies that idea of what I was talking about, the sparkle, that shimmer. It's just so cool sounding. I really don't know how to describe it. I wish it feels like bright colors. It feels like, I mean, when somebody says bubblegum punk, but in the best way possible.
Never heard that.
You've never heard of that?
No.
I'm trying to think of. I guess I don't know what they would define that as, but to me, it sounds like something that is youthful. It sounds like something that makes you want to stay 15 forever, or however old you are when you hear that for the first time.
Um,
And Windy Clear really has that feeling too.
and I think it's the only album that I would let someone get away with the line, he humped the dog.
I was so excited to talk about that
Let's get
because
into it.
exactly what you just said. I think the fact that they did that is so juvenile.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it just worked. I don't think I would have loved it if I heard it as how old I am now, 18. Um, but back then it was exactly what I wanted to hear because it didn't matter if it made sense. It was so out
Right.
of pocket that was just that was what you wanted, was almost that shock value.
And dude, I love this line kind of off that topic, but on Dysentery Gary, he says, "Fuck this place. I lost the war.
I
Hate you
hate
all.
you
Your
all.
mom's a whore. Where's my dog?
Right, because
Girls
girls
are
are such
such
a
a
drag.
drag. I just want my dog. That's
Yeah,
it's so stupid, but it's kind of cute. It's like, screw this, screw the girls. I just want to cuddle with my dog.
right. And that's actually, I know you finally heard it the other day, but that song that Evan and I did, Heads Up, Seven Up,
Yeah, yeah.
which that in of itself is a ripoff from the Live Blink thing. What? Heads Up, Seven Up?
Oh, right, yeah, yeah, of
And
course.
then in that song we did Non Oz and the whole nine. But we also said I want to or if you backtalk me, I'll run over your dog and hang your cat from a tree. It was
Terrible.
100% ripping off Dysentery Gary.
Right.
And it wasn't something that we ever considered as something that one would do. It was just funny. Like it was so extreme that it was funny.
And so anytime I listen to this album, I always try to quote Mark, Tom, and Travis show lines with it that they like,
It's
freelance
the
or
slow,
didn't
pretty part.
right. Or like, what do you say? Sodom you,
Right,
that
exactly.
stupid thing.
Or right after the song ends. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Because what the first three tracks are in order on Mark, Tom, and Travis to Enema, right? It's like
Right.
Don't Weed, Don't Leave Me, and Aliens Exist.
Right. Now, how good is that song? Aliens
Aliens
Exist.
Exist. It's so what oddly enough, what sold me on that song is so it goes into the bridge, that's just the bass, and the guitar's just holding the beat,
Right.
just the whole thing, and then the harmony comes in, like I
Yeah.
don't know what about that. It's so simple. It's so plain Jane, and the bass is doing those
That's
runs.
that's what I'm talking about. That adds to the sparkle because it's just so it's the simplicity, but it allows it to have dimensional space.
Right. And So, I think I, I say I speak for every band that was in our early thing. We were all trying to recreate whatever feeling that Enema gave us. I think we all felt the same thing that Enema did, and we've all been trying. I wish I could write some. I've tried to write something as simple as the songs on this album
It comes
and
across
try to get the
cheesy, right?
same results, and I don't. It comes off stupid and cheesy and hokey. I can't.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the idea of again trying to capture that feeling of whatever it was that we wanted back then to me was I don't know. It's like rose tinted glasses, right? It was before the innocence was broken. It was before you had to deal with real life and heartbreak and things like that. You just didn't know, but it was this idea. Like for me, I remember listening in middle school to songs like "Going Away to College," which I'm in, seventh grade at most. I'm not ready for college yet.
No?
So hearing this idea of chasing girls, putting notes in their locker. That was all stuff I wanted to do as a middle schooler. Because I hadn't had my heart broken yet. I wanted to. I felt like the sky's the limit as far as what's possible with love. So it was just this really, like I said, bubblegummy, candy coated moment in my life that was just joyful and happy, and that music really embodied that same joy just because it's so fun. It was about teenage, you know, hormones and attitude and life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you, back to the point of trying to write something like that, if you came to me with a song with just three chords, to be like, I am a guy, here is some pie or whatever, I'd be like, you could
Well,
take
we
that
would do
song
that song, wouldn't we?
and shove it up your ass because that's whack. I don't want
Yeah.
any part of that. You can take that and go do an acoustic version. Get out of here.
Well, we
Because
would we would do the pie version of that song for sure.
that is our niche. We are a real target demographic with the pie audience.
You'd be surprised. There's a giant following
Surprised?
behind it. There's a giant following.
I said surprised. You see.
Maybe the audience will laugh.
I hope. What audience? Oh, God. We said we'd stop doing that.
Well, there is we have viewers, so that's all that matters.
43.
Thanks, by the way, to my family for taking the time to watch it. I don't
And
think they
thank
know
you
I have
for
a
accepting my
podcast, to be
cash
honest.
to watch it.
What's that?
And thank your family for accepting my cash to watch it.
That's right. They were very obliged.
I have no money.
Going back to Aliens, and it kind of fits that same youthful thing, but well, first of all, while I'm here, the downstroking or going from like the D string to the A string, dun 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 dun. Oh, it was just, I mean, it's just cool. It wasn't used often, at least that I had known then, and it felt like on the offbeat, it just kind of was a cool vibe.
And then
But
once again, it's just the bass on that guitar on the last chorus. Jan,
right,
jan, jan, huge bar chords.
right,
I don't have the balls to keep it that simple. We've tried. I was like, let's just leave one lead guitar. We tried it on the last one. We tried it on Love Bomb. I was like, let's just do one lead track and just like the bass here. And we tried it, and it's just so plain. We had to go back and you had to add like another lead. No, I just wanted to do regular guitar, no lead, and bass. And it sounded so plain in the first verse. You had to go back post recording and add a lead.
but it
I
turned out good. I mean, the song should always need or get what the song needs, right?
Right.
And if you can make it, if a song sounds good on its own like that, and I think you got to give some praise to Jerry Finn on that. He
Right.
knew
I said
how
Commodore Algae before. I
right.
meant Gary Fett.
Well, as far as mastering and all that, but
Yeah,
mixing, Jerry Finn, he was one of a kind in his way to hear the world.
yeah.
He was able to create things because he also did Horoscope with Eve 6. It's a lot of the bands he did just had this really awesome sound.
Sum 41,
Right,
All
right,
Killer.
right. So, but I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, I interrupted you, but the
Oh,
aliens
the
exist.
alien. You're fine. You're fine. It had this like youthful thing because as a middle schooler, like the idea of aliens was cool. You know what I mean?
And
It was very in the age of South Park where aliens fly into your butt.
sure.
That was just funny humor.
And I didn't even know the 12 Majestic Lies and stuff until you told me recently. I didn't have any idea
Yeah.
about like
I've been telling you about it for years, You
I
just
never
listened
listened
recently.
by choice. It's just here, gone.
Yep, that's right.
I never want it back.
I told you when we were talking before, it's because we don't ever talk. We had to get back in the rhythm. They're going to actually think we hate each other.
Good. There's a reason why we have to take our photo shoots in separate states and put them on our Spotify the way we do. I don't want to be in the same room.
Actually, you know what it really comes down to, and this is the honest truth, is we ended up getting signed to a much bigger label, and they force us to do this.
Come back.
Yeah, and talk and create these things, and we wouldn't do it, but the label really says that it's gonna help make
The
people feel
system
close
is
to us and
the system
connected.
is corrupt, and we are at the forefront of the corruption.
We own the label.
And this podcast. Well, that was fun.
Oh, I missed that, man. This is, what's sad is this is a lot of times what our phone calls are.
Yeah, and
So,
this is like we should put a podcast out because we think this is that interesting.
but at least now we'll know because this is the entire reason that we wanted to start one in the first place.
We've
It was
literally
like,
been talking about it for years.
yeah,
So,
and
and
it was
I know I'm screwing around here. There's people who have wrote me and have been like, I'm really enjoying what you guys do.
right.
So
It's
we're
because
joking. So
it's because we're the
it was your
best.
dad.
There's a band chat that's going on right now, and we've been passing around this idea of being goated because somebody said that Davey and the band were the greatest of all time. And so there's just been this back and forth. I'm watching American Dad last night, and there's this sign at a carnival that says "No goats allowed in the bathroom." And I just text the group. I'm like, just so everybody knows, I'm not allowed in this bathroom.
Wait, hold on. No, don't put yourself in that group. I wrote a comment saying thanks for listening, and he said the goat comments. The goat's me. Me, baby.
Well, like I said, I wouldn't be allowed in the bathroom, but that's for different reasons.
I did laugh at that thing you sent to the group chat.
Yeah, it was funny. I watched it again today. I actually have to send you an American Dad clip that I watched today that killed me.
Please, I love them all.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So, but I think what about like, for example, the Hunt the Dog line is so immature and juvenile. But you think about on Dude Ranch, they did
De- uh, um, Degenerate.
Degenerate. Yeah, and
Yes.
that whole chorus is just a word collage of just obscenities and nonsense.
But that was the beauty of it all because I remember especially when I was first working with Red Car Wire and Evan and I were coming up with ideas. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket had just come out, and Anthem Part Two, this idea of like bathroom stalls and stuff. It painted a picture that felt like going to grungy shows and trying to see if you could make out with somebody or whatever.
Right.
It felt all their word pictures at the time. It's just cool. I love
Well,
it.
yeah, Give Me One Good Reason on that album is really one that kind of like we talked about like hair metal bands, they
Right,
just
right,
like
right, right.
I really enjoyed that track.
It was cool. So I mean, they obviously did it here too. But I was gonna see what you thought of the drum intro, and not only intro because it does it throughout the song, but to Mutt.
Okay. So yeah, I saw American Pie in the theater. So I had heard Mutt that way.
From
And
Scott's version.
it was Scott's version, but I didn't know. But I was like, man, I love this song.
It's
And I
so
was like,
good.
I knew Blink enough. I was like, I think that's Blink, man. And I went because I didn't have the internet then. I was poor, grew up in a poor family,
We're
and
still poor.
what that was. Um, but I couldn't go look it up. So,
Appropriation.
but
It
yeah,
was
I knew when
English.
the album came out. I knew that, and that those 16th notes, man, those are not easy. You think that's easy? It's not.
Yeah,
Like it's so fast,
yeah.
and then just the accents that he does. That song is so cool. I
Hmm.
love Mud. That's a top contender for another song that I top favorite on there probably.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the big singles, of course, you got All the Small Things we talked about and What's My Age Again. And I could say I could never listen to those
Really?
again.
Like now?
Yeah,
I
I mean
have
they're
no
just so played
problem.
out. I love their incredible songs. Do not get me wrong, it's a perfect album, one of my favorite albums of all time. But I am just like, okay,
I don't have any trouble listening to them still.
really?
And in fact, I was just thinking about this the other day when I went back and listened to it. The way that what is it? Adam's song swells into
Yeah,
all
all
the
the small
small
things.
things, right?
Uh,
And it's like almost this off pitch. Well, I mean, it's not off pitch, but it's a totally different key. And your brain kind of sticks with that, and it starts to become like this intentional decision, which
Well,
maybe Jerry
they're both
had.
in C. What do you mean
Oh,
different key?
doesn't it feel like it's like almost like a dissonance?
Mm-mm.
It just has this weird. I don't know.
Sure, it hits
Maybe,
a
maybe it's
five.
because it's not coming in on the one. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Na, it's like the note it hits. Na, da, 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 da. Anyway, doesn't
Right.
matter. It's
So
incredible.
so it kind of feels like the bottom drops out almost.
Yeah, exactly. It
But
has that
going into
shimmer.
that and just the way that they do, because even watching Beato, um, even watching his stuff and talking about how they add that seventh chord to make it really melancholy there. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Also,
The
we're gonna
synth?
steal this. We're gonna steal this from him too, because yeah, we never heard it before that, right? And now it sticks out like a sore thumb. So if you don't know who Rick Beato is, we're about to ruin it for you, like he did for us. In the
Right.
chorus, there is an octave synth that's going. You'll hear it every time from now on. It's so loud, and I don't know how we never noticed it.
Yeah,
Speaking
because
of,
it does that and it'll it'll hit the sorry, hit the seventh. And so it creates this little bit of odd tension that it'll
right,
eventually like alleviate later. But oh my God, it's I would never think to do that. I mean, I'm not a producer, but I don't even know how where in the mix you put that to make it so perfectly not heard and heard at the
hey,
same time.
so I'll tell you this: the song I'm working on right now that I sent you has that as well. And once you
You
know
do
it's
an
there,
octave thing?
similar, but once you know it's there, you'll hear it.
Okay,
So I'll have to.
interesting.
It's in the choruses.
You're not
But
allowed to work on songs that aren't Freshman 15, by the way.
who says it won't be a Freshman 15 song?
Me, because only I can write Freshman 15
So
songs.
I'm not allowed to write them or work on other ones.
You heard that
Now I
right.
feel like we are the label.
Well, yeah, and yeah, we are. That is the contract.
So speaking of songs that have interesting things in them that we didn't notice, there was one day, and it's really cool because if anybody is an audiophile, when you listen in different speakers, different headphones, they're not always tuned exactly the same. Sometimes certain EQ frequencies will stick out more in one speaker than another. But I was listening in headphones one time to "What's My Age Again," and in the very last chorus, there's this line that Mark Hoppus sings that I had never heard before, and I don't know how. But he says, "Please stay with me. Please stay with me. Please stay with me. Please stay with me." Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun,
dun,
dun.
dun.
Sorry to do the whole thing there, but I wanted you to know how it goes so you can point
Yeah,
it out.
and you know, I see them do that live, and I'm glad they didn't do it. But in live after that, "Please Stay With Me" part, they go dun, dun, dun,
Oh, the
dun, dun. They
halftime.
just slow it down. I was like, that's sick. That's tight.
Where's my Asian friend? Dude, the amount of times we've played any cover song of Blink-182 and immediately quoted Mark, Tom, and Travis live after that, or the
I mean,
Mark, Tom,
all
and
of our
Travis
songs
show.
are pretty
Yeah,
much Blink cover songs, so any
yeah,
Freshman 15
it's
song is.
it's true. So if you ever get a chance to see us live, you're just gonna hear only Blink cover songs. That's it.
So I know we are running low on our free Zoom time. That
Surprise!
it's right. So we're gonna wrap it up here because our Panic at the Disco one went far too long.
And that was not just far too long for you guys. That was miserable for us.
Yeah, I fell asleep halfway through it. You'll see it. Go watch. All 6.5 hours of it.
Yeah, it's just us taking a nap.
In closing, I think this is one of the most influential, not even pop punk albums, but albums of all time. That's not anything, oof, not anything new. It's been said many times about this album. It doesn't need some dopey failed musician to say that Enema of the State is a masterpiece.
I would agree, and we'd be really interested to know if you guys have enjoyed this. What some of your thoughts are? Do you like that album? Are you a Blink fan? If you liked us and didn't like Blink, I'm kind of shocked, but thank you. We'll take it.
Right.
And feel free to share this with people and let them know what you thought of the album. If you know of any Blink fans or anything like that, because it's cool to hear feedback about what people thought of their album and what their favorite parts were too.
Is this your favorite Blink album?
Yes.
I would say so. Me too. I know a lot of people choose self-titled.
Oh no.
Right.
I do love
There's
that
a-
album. The first five for me are pretty much all in competition with each other, but it would be Enema, Dude Ranch, Takeoff, or vice versa. Those are interchangeable for me because they're
Right,
so
yeah.
good, and they're right there next to number one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Dude Ranch is so
the
important.
space between those three are just
And then it would be 4 and 5 would be between One More Time and self-titled,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, that's about the same for me too. But yeah,
So
the Robert Smith song, man, I can't.
I love it. I love that entire album, and I love the One More Time album. I'm one of very few people that loves that entire album. So,
It's a long one.
and it's great. I can listen to all 19 songs and have no issue.
I need to give that one another spin all the way through. It's been a hot minute, probably since they released the second half.
Maybe if people like this one, maybe we'll do that too. If anybody wants to know our thoughts.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good to me, man. A blast as always, and we will reconvene next week for maybe an album we both haven't heard, or maybe one that I'll suggest for you, and we'll do something.
Or maybe one that we're writing right now.
We'll just listen to our demos.
Just yeah, here guys, what do you think of this? Should we
Yeah,
use
we'll
this
listen to
one? Should
that
we
one.
should we use this one, guys? What do you think?
Hear Davey's little octave thing that he stole from Blink.
I'm gonna hey, you go listen to it again right after this, and I expect a text message. And I will
will not do
post the
that.
text message reply
I will not do that in
at the end of this
slightest.
video.
I do not listen to your stuff off of the clock.
You don't listen to my stuff ever.
That's okay. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm joking. We recorded songs of Hoogs, by the way.
Yeah, some of those songs are mine, guys. Surprise. I
That's
can
right.
write.
I still take credit for them.
I don't make nearly as much money because nobody listens to those songs, but I did write them.
That's right. They are in the catalog. It's very, very, very buried deep, so nobody hears them.
You guys remember the California remix?
Sounds-
I'm just
I'll take the
joking.
hit on that one. I'm not going to let you take the hit for that. That was me.
Oh, well, I was trying to say that was mine, and
I know. I'm not going
Oh,
to let you
got it.
fall for that.
I still think it's a great song, but just
I
the
listened to
fact
it
that
the other
all
day.
I could do
I
was a
think
remix,
I think it's fine.
it's a great song. Anyway, well, we'll
Want to
leave you
ring
guys
the
here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell.
Click that bell.
I hate it.
Great.
But we should find a funnier way to do that.
click that bell.
Yeah, like, I don't know, we'll come up with a funnier phrase now that we've made fun of ourselves enough times. I don't want this to be something that catches on.
This podcast.
The sarcastic, yeah, our friendship, the reigniting of this band.
All right. Go ahead and fling that bing and
There it is.
fling that bing, baby. All right.
We'll see you kids later.